Good morning, Cardinia Life members. How are you all? My name's Rose. Hi. Welcome to your Thursday morning. I've just realised I'm entangled. Welcome to your Thursday morning yoga flow. So please remember to always do in any type of exercise, any type of movement practice at all, to always do what feels right for you. So if you, sorry, I haven't spoken to anyone yet today. If you haven't done yoga before and you're like, what the, just pull out of a pose, stop, have a look, and then go to what feels comfortable for you. It's really important to listen to your body in any type of movement and see what feels right for you. There's a plane flying overhead. It's unusual now. See what feels right for you. So you can change a pose, you can back out of it, you can increase it. It's entirely up to you. We're going to start on our mat. Obviously, hopefully you've got a space that you've set up, whether you're doing this live with me now or at a later stage. Good on you for making the time. It's might be getting a bit hard to self-motivate at the moment. I'm kind of finding that a little bit. So it's really great for me to have these classes to have to jump on and do. What a tough job. So yeah, come to your mat in a seated position. So we'll just start sitting however you're comfortable. If you've got any, let's turn that fire down. If you've got any cushions, props, doesn't have to be a specific yoga prop. Could be a cushion, could be a yoga prop, could be a block. Please feel free to prop yourself up on that. That helps to lift your hips, and it's always good to tilt those hips a little bit forward. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You're welcome to sit kneeling. You could even sit on a chair. Okay, it's about finding comfort at this stage. Try to sit fairly evenly on your sit bones. Sit bones are the knobbly parts in your bottom. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them back and down. Let's do that 3 more times. As you breathe in, lift up. As you let the breath go, let the shoulders drop back down. Big breath in and out. Big breath in and out. And then come to just sitting. Take a moment to just check in with yourself. It's funny times at the moment, and to top it all off, we've had a new moon this week, which can be quite heavy energy for some. But I look at it as a new moon, new start, new month. Good time to set some intentions, maybe just for the next moment, maybe for the next hour, the next day, the next week or month, up to you. Take a breath in as you reach your arms up really big. Drop your right hand, reach over with your left. Big breath in and other side. Big breath in up through the middle. Let's turn to one side, bring the opposite arm across. Use the hand behind to help lift you, and then rotate. Just going to where it feels comfortable. Take a breath in here. Stay for the exhale. Next breath in, reach up really big through the middle, and we'll go to the other side. Same thing, opposite hand reaches across, hand behind, lift and rotate. Breath in, stay for the exhale. Big breath in up through the middle. Rest the hands down. They can be on your knees, cupping like mine, or on your thighs, whatever. But let's do some circles. So pull opposite shoulder, so my right shoulder is coming over to my left knee, and a circle round. So there's nice big circles. If you're anchoring onto your knees, how I am, when you go back, you could use that as an anchor so that you can let your body hang back. Just getting some movement through our spine. Let the head drop wherever it wants to drop. And then come back up to the middle and go the other way. So it's circle. Eyes can be open or closed throughout this. One more. Coming back to center, back to our shoulder rolls. Lift the shoulders up, take them back and down. Coordinate it with your breath. So breath in, lifting up. Breath out, take it down. One more breath. And out. Now see if you can circle the other way. So circle kind of back and then forward and up. still using your breath. And throughout the practice, let your breath guide you. So it might be different to mine, which is absolutely fine. One thing I think that keeps us all interesting is how different we all are. Shake the arms out, the hands out. So we all need different types of movement. We all move differently, we all look different. Keeps it a bit interesting. Let's join the hands and rotate the wrists. Rotate the hands. Faster. And then other way. That feels real. Good, hey? Other way. Shake it out. Rest your hands on your knees again now, and we're coming into a seated cat-cow. So as you take a breath in, come into cow, you pull your belly and chest forward, arcing your back. As you let the breath go, stretch the back away, drop the head forward. So breath in, shoulders peel back, collarbone opens. Breath out. Breath in. And out. Two more. That movement might start getting a bit of throat clearing. And pause in your cat. So pause with a big curve away. So the belly is sucking in almost. Rolling your shoulders forward, curving your back away. So the big, almost a curved over back. And then as you take a breath in, bring the belly forward, pause in your cow. So stay here, letting the breath happen. So we're puffing our chest forward and arcing in that lower back there. And release. Back to any movement now. So whether you want to stay with cat-cow or the circles we did before, anything at all. Anything at all. Maybe involving the head, yeah. And then let's come over onto our hands and knees. So depending on how you're seated, you might be able to pop hands forward and pull yourself over. You might need to come around like me, which is fine. Set yourself in a tabletop. And let's come into our cat-cows here. So breath in, drop belly, lift crown of the head. Breath out, stretching up and releasing. Keep working through the breath. Let the body stay with cat-cow, or maybe it wants to come into some other type of movement again. That's entirely up to you. But whatever you're doing, we'll do 3 more breaths. So whether it's staying with cat-cow with me, whether you're circling hips or walking on the spine almost. And then we'll meet in our tabletop, our neutral position. Extend your left leg out really long, flex the toes so they point down towards the floor. Engage through the glutes, pull up through that belly button area. So we've got our Muladhara Bandha down here, where we pull up through the pelvic floor and pull the belly button region in. Hold that leg nice and steady and still, try not to let it move. And then extend the opposite arm out in front. So if you're with me, it's right arm, left leg, right thumb points to ceiling. Take a big breath in. Keep the leg still, sweep the arm out to the side, keep the leg still, come back in. Do that twice more. Slow, controlled, deliberate movement, noticing what you need to do in that belly button region or that whole trunk area to keep yourself stable, and try and remember that. Place them both down. This time we'll extend right leg out, flexing the foot, keeping it nice and still. You can see I just went up, so we're going to try and square the hips as much as possible. Sometimes you think you're square and then you see your reflection and you're not. So let's try and keep that nice and steady. Eye gaze fixed directly underneath you. Oh. Keeping still. And now we'll extend the opposite arm out nice and long. Keeping steady and still if you can. Keep the leg still. Just take the arm out and back in. Slow, controlled, deliberate movements. You've got this. Keep pushing the mat away with the hand that's supporting you. We'll do one more because I can't count. And place the hand down. Let's go back to the other side. Left leg long, right arm long. Reach them long. Keep the toes of the left foot flexed, pointing down, and we'll open both arm and leg. Out on the diagonal, back in. So it's not a big, fast, sweeping movement. It's a slow, deliberate movement where we try to move them in the same plane. One goes out to one side, one the other. That would be a long diagonal line. Pulling up through that pelvic floor, back to the middle, place them down. We'll go straight to the other side. Kind of a little bit of Pilates, but things cross over, so we need to have a strong core and trunk. Let's go on the diagonal here to work through life. We need to have that strong foundation, don't we, to work through life. Keeping steady eye gaze. It's called finding your drishti, your focus points. And once again, Rose can't count till one more. And back in. Place hands down, big toes together, sink down into your child's pose. Knees open, feet together, arms extended forward at this stage. Try to rest forward to the floor. Take a breath in. Let it go. Bring the left hand over as far as you want to. Right hand on top, pull back. Breath in, feel that release down the right side of your trunk. Let the breath go. Right hand goes across, left hand on top. Sink it. Come back to the middle. Push yourself back up onto your knees. Rearrange your clothing. So we're going to come to our toe tuck. Tucking toes under. Put my socks on. So if this is too intense for you, don't do it. You can have the feet flat. So you've got the front of the ankle opening. Maybe you can tuck, but you don't have the weight of your body on. So you could be up here. Or maybe you could pull in a block or a bolster or a pillow. Anything at all. Just to place under the knees. It takes a little bit of pressure. It doesn't have as deep a bend in the toes. See what works best for you. But we're going to try and sit back here, interlace hands behind, draw them down, shine through your heart. If it gets too intense in the toes, please release. See if you can stay here for 2 more breaths. Long breath in, long releasing breath out. Remember that focus of keeping this area switched on the whole time. 1 more breath in. And let it go. Come over, tap those feet out. Doing that again, retuck toes. This time have the opposite thumb on top. So last time you would have automatically done your dominant normally. So mine was my right, so this time I'm putting my left. Interlace if you can, draw down. If that's not available, hands apart. If toes get intense, let them go. Let them go, do what feels best. Remember that drawing in. Just watch that we have got a big flaring of the chest. I've got an automatic arch and a big rib cage. So let's just make sure we're not like I am now. So we're keeping switched on, drawing the ribs down as well. 2 more breaths here. And release, coming over. Tap the toes out. So if you've got socks on like me, now's the time to whip them off. Unless they've got those little grippy things on them. But mine are just for comfort. And we're going to tuck toes and lift up to our first downward facing dog. Slow pedal out, keep the bend in the knees as much as you want or need to at any stage throughout the class, especially now though when we're still opening everything up. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees so that your belly's resting on thighs. Let your arms hang, maybe release the wrists. You might even rest elbows on thighs, which is absolutely fine. Try to let the weight of your head hang forward and feel that length happening up through the back of your neck. Place hands on shins. Next in-breath, straighten your arms, your back and your legs. Keep your eye gaze down. Imagine there's a line or a light coming out of the crown of your head as we lengthen through and get that right angle here. Yeah? The hip and thigh joint there. Take another breath here. Let it go. Let's do that again. Breath in, hold. Hold this position here, this half forward fold. Take another breath. And fold. 1 more breath in. Hold it, eye gaze down at this stage. Let the neck lengthen. And release it down. Next time we breathe in, unsweep up as big as you can. Catch your left wrist, pull over to the right. Breath in up through the middle, swap it over. Breath in up through the middle, hands come behind, interlace, right thumb on top, draw the hands down. Find that opening through the chest, once again, drawing the rib cage down rather than letting it flare forward, yeah? Keeping a nice sense of control and support. One more breath. Let the breath and hands go. Open the hands to face forward and we're now Tadasana. Think about your shoulder blades, draw them down. Set your eye gaze on one fixed spot. Toes anchoring. One more breath in our mountain pose, Tadasana. And then next time you breathe in, sweep up really big, fold down. Half lift breath in, eye gaze wherever you'd like. And release. Sweep up as big as you can. Catch the left wrist, pull up and over. Up through the middle, right wrist. Up through the middle, hands come behind, left thumb on top this time. Interlace, draw down. Keep anchoring through those toes, but lifting up through your arches and your outer blades. Find that broadness, drawing, remember ribs, shoulder blades, drawing them down. One more breath in and out. As you let go, let the hands go, come back to Tadasana, rotating and opening up. Breath in, sweep up. Fold and release. Half lift. Bend your knees so your hands land on the floor, walk forward to your plank. Adjust everything, adjust feet, adjust hands. Now you don't have to be on toes, you're more than welcome to be on knees. What I do want you to do is broaden again. It's almost like you're gripping and drawing the mat down, but drawing the toes up. And we're peeling our collarbone open, drawing our shoulder blades down. Lengthening through our tailbone. We're not dumping here, and we're not kicking up here. We're lengthening. Knees or toes, take one more breath. Little movement forward, and slowly, if you can, elbows front side to body as you bring your whole body to the mat. Release toes, shine your heart. And come back down. Twice more. Hands can stay on the floor, but try not to get them to be doing the pushing. Try to get the back to do the lifting, so hands can hover. And come back down. Push back to your child's pose. Just for a moment. One breath in. Stretch your back as you let the breath go into your cat. Tuck toes, downward facing dog. Pause, movement or stillness. High on the balls of feet, knees bend, look to hands. Make your way to the top of the mat. Fold into your forward fold. Hands to shins, half lift. And release. Sweep up. Hands float to heart center. Keep the hands there for a moment as you touch into your chest. Lift the toes, spread and anchor down. Find that real grounding, that real lifting. Let's look for non-judgment. Non-judgment of ourselves and what we can or can't do. Non-judgment of anyone. Anyone at all. Breath in, come up. Fold and release. Half lift. Hands land, step. If you've got a flow, jump back to practice. Take your flow. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, knees or toes, little scoot, come forward, little scoot. Your back bend. You can come higher if you'd like. Retuck toes, lift up and back to your downward facing dog. We'll all meet in our downward facing dog. Floating your right leg up, keeping your glutes engaged, just long and straight, footies flexed. Float it up, take a breath, float it back down. Swap it over. Left leg floats up, float it up, take a breath, float it back down. Right leg floats up. Take a big breath in, float forward, see if you can bring nose to knee before stepping your foot through, planting your back foot and finding your warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. I'm really coming apart at the seams today. Arms are up, shoulders are soft. Draw those shoulder blades down. Let's have the palms face each other. Chest is turning as far forward as you can, so there might be a slight rotation towards the left. If you adjust your back foot, see, does that change it? If it doesn't, maybe this is right for you. Maybe you've got that slight turn in your warrior one. Back foot is planted down with that slight angle, and it's out to the side a little to try and enable our hips to square to the front. Long breath in. Cactus the arms, feeling the movement in the shoulders and shoulder blades. Breath in. Arms wide, right thumb on top. Interlace, draw down. So we've got a really firm grounding in our feet. We're not just dumping high now, we're engaged and lifting. Keep Keep breathing through as you float forward to your humble warrior. Let the arms float up. If it's tricky to keep hands interlaced, let them go. Humble warrior. Big long breath in. Longer breath out. Keep the hands if you can. Make your way back up to your warrior one. From here, release the arms, reach them up. We're going to reach the arms forward so we can float the back leg up to our warrior three. Now if you have blocks or a bench or something handy, I think I'm coming out of the screen. So you can use a bench if you have a bench. Rest hands on blocks. Otherwise, see if you can extend arms forward. Square hips to the mat as much as possible. Flexing toes with the back leg, the left leg. They're pointing to the floor. We're trying to get our arms, our body and our leg in a long straight line, parallel to the floor, with a slight back arch and heart shining forward. One more breath in. Big step back, find your crescent lunge. Reach up as you breathe in with arms and leg. Twist to the right as you bend knees, open arms. Breath in, come up. And again. One more big breath in, keeping switched on in that core. And open. Big breath in, come up. This time we'll turn to the left, open to your warrior two. Soft shoulders, eye gaze long and strong over the middle finger of your right hand. Little mental check, let's start from the feet. Outer blade, especially of our left foot, is connected, and our right, but we lift up through the arches. We really draw up. Switching everything on. Hips and shoulders are now facing the long edge of your mat to the left. Arms long, eye gaze long over your right hand. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. It's a strong warrior pose, everyone. Let's reach to the front, flip that palm, find your reverse warrior, dancing warrior, sun warrior, peaceful. So many names I've heard for this. Keep drawing that right knee forward as we peel our body back into that big arch. Take a breath here. Bring the front arm so it lands on the front thigh. Sweep the back arm, extended side angle. So once again, not leaning heavily into the elbow, looking for length and switching on. This top arm, your left arm is long. You might even slide the front arm inside, but it's not a competition. We're not trying to be better than anyone. We're not judging ourselves. We're trying not to dump here. Let's open. Now, option here, you could straighten the top arm and the front leg. You might need to adjust the back leg in a little to find your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Length. Big long breaths in and out. One more breath. Come back to your reverse warrior. Take a big breath in. Hands windmill. They land either side of the front foot. Option to step back, either to down dog or take your flow. That little yoga push up. Leaning back in our down dog and then sinking into our child's pose and meeting in our child's pose. Use your breath. Let's find our inner warrior. Got some warrior quotes here. A warrior proves his courage in the heat or the heart of a battle. So what's our battle? Our battle is to stay on our mat and keep doing something for us. There's always something else that needs to be done. But I don't think I've ever gone to a class or done a workout that I've regretted. But I've regretted the ones I've missed. So if you can stay for the length of the practice, you might sit on your mat for some of it, that could be a really good thing for you in this moment. Let's take a long breath in. Stretch up through cat and let that breath go. Tuck toes, find your downward facing dog. Once again, walking, pedaling, staying still, float left leg up. Nice and long, push that mat away. Toes are flexed, float it down. Right leg. Float it down. Left leg. Take a big breath, float forward, knee to nose, touch if you can. Before stepping through, finding your warrior one. Keep using your breath to find yourself, set yourself up, whether it's tucking in the clothes or whatever. Adjust the back foot, try and remember how we felt on the other side, and maybe replicate it. Maybe it's different, because each side's different, but we're engaging and lifting, we're not dumping and hanging. We're strong and deliberate in our poses, we're warriors. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. A long breath comes in as we cactus those arms and feel our shoulder blades. Another breath as our arms sweep wide, left thumb on top this time, interlace, draw down. Keep on with that breath as you float forward into a humble warrior. Let the arms float up, drawing the left hip back. It probably wants to draw forward. So it's like we're trying to pull the mat together with our feet. One more breath. And releasing up. Arms reach up as we reach forward and find our warrior three. Now it's okay if you tap in and out of the balance, if you hold onto a chair or a wall. Just go into what feels right for you, remembering that drawing up through the pelvic floor, remembering the breath, remembering the drishti, the focus for your eyes. 2 more breaths here if you can. And a big long step back. We find our high lunge, our crescent lunge. Straighten everything as you breathe in. Turn to the left. Twist. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in, come up, open to your warrior two. Land the back foot. We're now facing towards the right side of our mat with our hips and our shoulders. Eye gaze long and strong over your left hand. Switch on. Draw up. Draw up. Like we're trying to draw the mat together with our arms along. We're reaching back, but we're reaching forward. Soften through the shoulders and eye gaze. Reach, reverse your warrior. Come over, land the front elbow. Front arm reaches long. Maybe you stay here, maybe you open to Trikonasana. Adjust feet to whatever feels right for you. One more breath. Find your reverse warrior, your peace warrior. As you let the breath go, arms windmill. Option to take a flow. Remembering everything is optional. Sinking knees, finding your child's pose. Any shape, where the knees are together or apart this time, where the arms are forward or back, is entirely up to you. Let's just hang out here for 3 more breaths. Slowly make your way back up to your downward facing dog. When you get there, once again, movement or stillness. Remembering your heels might not come anywhere near the floor, which is absolutely fine. Eventually bend knees, look to hands, and make your way to the top of your mat to your forward fold, releasing the wrists. Hands to shins, half lift. And release. Sweep up. Really big breath in. Palms float to heart center. Lift toes, sink them down, and let your arms open to Tadasana. Mountain pose. Broaden through your shoulders. Think about those shoulder blades drawing down. Lifting up through the knees, the thighs, but it's a slight pushing forward of the shins. So we're softening behind our knees. Strong mountain pose. Breath in, sweep up. As you do, lift your right leg, ground down through the left, right leg lifts. Take a big breath in, reach forward. Arms forward, leg kicks back, find your warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. Stretch long through the leg. Keep reaching, keep breathing. You really stretch long, square the hips, toes point to the floor. One more breath, land back in your crescent lunge, your high lunge. Reach up, everything straightens up, twist to the left. And again, reach up, find your warrior two. Eye gaze is set. Reach, flip, reverse your warrior. Find your reverse warrior. Come over, land the front elbow, reach the back arm. Extended side angle, option to open to your Trikonasana, a bit of a dancey flow. Option to stay here or bend your front knee. Tap forward. Ardha Chandrasana. So I've got a block just conveniently set there. Option to use a block or not. We're lifting the back leg. You don't have to do this. If you're with me, 2 more breaths here. And then see if you can slowly rotate your body to face the floor, arms are wide in aeroplane, Takasana. Eye gaze is fixed. Nice and long and strong. See if you can sweep the hands behind, interlace, before landing back. Warrior one, but float straight forward into humble warrior. Now if your foot lands in a funny spot, adjust it. Arms are reaching back. Take a big breath in. Keep the arms if you can. Slowly come forward onto the left leg, float the back leg up. Back to a warrior three with clasped hands. Arms sweep wide to reach forward. Take a long breath. Land back into a high lunge. Bit of a dancey flow there, reach up. Cactus the arms and then come forward, hands land as you step back. Take your flow, it is optional. You might even headbutt the block. Moving back in your downward facing dog. So our focus today is our warrior poses. They're sprinkled throughout. And I think you have to be a warrior to get through some of the things that are being thrown at us at the moment. Let's land these, one child's pose. A warrior is no greater than what he conquers. Little quotes that I've picked up that I thought I'd sprinkle through the class. They might resonate with you, they might annoy you. But why do they annoy you? What else have I got here? A true warrior conquers more in one day than a coward in a lifetime. Not sure about that one. What defines a warrior? What defines a coward? In your child's pose, sink back into your breath. Take one more breath here. As you let it go, stretch up into your cat. Pause in cat-cow. Take a couple of breaths in cat-cow here. And then tuck toes, lift hips. Find your downward facing dog. Knees bend, look to hands. Make your way to the top of the mat. To a forward fold. In this forward fold, let's take the feet at least hip distance and hang. Knees can bend as much as you want to a knee. Maybe hands reach floor, maybe you've got a prop you could rest them on. It doesn't have to be a block, could be a book. You could rest elbows like me. Or you could dangle arms or even come into ragdoll. Just do what feels right, movement or stillness. No real big bouncing, but maybe you like a little bit of a swing and a bounce. Once again, your body. Listen to it. Pain is a warning, so back out of pain. Let the arms go, if you've got them. Bring your feet back to how you're practicing. Hands to shins, up lift. Let it go. Sweep up, big breath. Catch left wrist, up and over. Breath in, swap it over. Keep arms up as you ground in the right and float the left leg up. Take a breath, kick the leg back, find your warrior three. Arms reach forward, so nice and long. Take a long breath in as we land back into our, Rose totally forgot what she's doing, warrior one. No, into our high lunge, sorry, our high lunge, I've got it, everyone. Big breath in, come up, twist to your right, just the once. Breath in, come up, let's turn and land in our warrior two. You know what's really good about the filming of the classes? Our mistakes are on film, we can see them back. Normally we can just laugh at the end of class together and then hopefully forget about it. But it's imprinted in time. Oh boy. All right, back to our warrior two, but we're warriors. We just keep pushing through these little battles that come up, yeah? Let's reach, flip, reverse our warrior. And then we come over, land front elbow, extended side angle. Maybe you stay here, maybe you open to Trikonasana, your version. Maybe you stay here, maybe you float forward to Ardha Chandrasana. Eye gaze is set. We're breathing through. As we slowly rotate, can you come wherever you are, up here to meet me in our warrior three with aeroplane arms or the Kasana. Keep grounding, keep lifting. Don't forget the glutes, the muscles in your bottom, as arms sweep round behind. Interlace any old way. And then we land back and we find our humble warrior. Pretty tricky doing those balances and moving through them. Big long breaths in and out. Floating forward, we're going to float that back leg up. Nice and strong. Arms wide as they reach forward. We land back into our high lunge. Breath in, come up. Hands land, step back into plank. And take your flow. When you hear me laugh, it is at myself. In any class. I think to be able to laugh at oneself, to say it correctly, is good. Let's walk our hands back to our feet, all the way back. Heel toe the feet out. Find your malasana. So this is our low squat. If you haven't done yoga before and you've done body balance, we call this Hindi squat and body balance. Now, you can be up high, you can have heels lifted. If the heels are lifted, you could roll a blanket up or pop a cushion or something underneath the heels for support. If this is just not comfortable or available to you, sit with the soles of the feet together and let the knees pull out. If you can, lift the chest, elbows into inner thighs, and breathe through it. Fix your eye gaze on one spot. Find that inner warrior. So a little bit of strength in our legs here. If you're sitting in seated start, that's where you're sitting on your bottom with soles of the feet together and knees pulling out. That's great. Stay there. Maybe fold your body forward. If you're in Malasana, a couple of options. Stay here. Come to those open wings. If you've got Bakasana in your practice, you'll know what I'm talking about, so you're welcome to do that. If you want a bit of strength work in the legs, we'll reach our arms up. As we reach our arms up, we're standing tall. So we'll go pushing up, and then we'll sink back down. We've got 5 more. Push it up, sink back down. As you push up, it's like we're zipping up through our inner thigh. So zipping up. Don't forget the glutes. Back down. Keep going. Pushing up. Back down. Good news is, I can't count. 3 more. Zip up. And down. 2 more. Pushing up. And down. Last one. Push it up. And come down. Hands come to the floor. Walk hands forward. So from seated start, find your plank. So come to your plank, everybody. Really broad through the shoulders. Gripping with the fingers, but drawing back. Take a breath. A little scoot forward, knees or toes. Slowly bring your whole body to the mat. Release the feet. Take the hands off the mat. Slowly lift up just fingertips. And down. And again. Slowly lift up. One more. Elbows point to sky. And come down. Let yourself rest down on the mat. Stack hands. Bend knees. Windscreen wipe your legs side to side to feel that release in the lower back area. And then release the feet. Bring elbows under thighs. Bring elbows under shoulders. Anyone bring the elbows under thighs? Elbows under shoulders. Spread the fingers like you're gripping the mat and drawing back. Broadening through the collarbones, lifting up out of the shoulders. If this is too intense a back bend for you, please lower down and rest hands under forehead. This might be enough for you. This is called Sphinx. So if you can come into Sphinx, find the shape that feels good. Breathe through it. One more breath. Slowly melt back down. We'll meet here. Option to bend legs and let them drop side to side. Always an option. release the feet. Use your hands to push back. Feel free to go through child's pose, but we're coming straight over onto our back. Knees bent. Take the feet mat width, let the knees fall into each other into a constructive rest pose. Take the arms out into cactus if you can. If that's really uncomfortable, you could have hands on belly or wide. But if you can place the backs of the hands down, that's really good. Then let the legs drop side to side just for a moment. Eventually letting the legs drop to the left. Consciously, drawing that right leg down, so we're drawing that right inner thigh down towards the mat. And all of this is optional. Remember, you might rest the leg together, rest the left foot underneath the right knee. That might feel better for you. Just get that length. And come up and over to the other side. Drop the legs to the right. Consciously draw that left leg down. Come back to the middle. Hug your knees in. Hug them in. You can either hold on top of shins like me or behind thighs. A little rock from side to side. Really hug them in. Try to make it that your head, neck and shoulders are totally relaxed back into the mat. And if that's tricky to do, slide something under the back of your head, like a cushion or a pillow. But stay with side to side, or if you want to add circles or anything else, go for it. You might even prefer to rock forward and back, that's fine. And then releasing the legs, lift your bottom, slide the hands, palms down underneath your lower back, extend the legs towards the ceiling. Viparita Karani, this is an inversion, it's a really nice inversion. Just having that slight lift of the hips. Some people like to lift hips up onto a bolster or a cushion of some description. That's great, whatever suits you, whatever is the best feeling in your hip area, your lower back area. This is really nice with legs against the wall. For some people it's really hard to hold the legs up, so you could hold on to the back of the legs or place the legs against the wall, or even pull a chair in. And imagine I've got a chair here, drape the legs over a chair like so. Just do whichever version feels best. And it's not that one is harder or one is better. I do all different types. Sometimes I just do this in the middle of the floor, like I am now. Sometimes it's with a bolster, sometimes it's against the wall, sometimes it's against the bed with the legs like you're on a chair. I even have one of those Shakti mats, I lie back on that like this. But I find it a really great pose to do at the beginning and the end of the day. It's kind of calming, but rejuvenating at the same time. You can close your eyes and really let gravity, the strength and force of gravity pull down. Let everything come back to the heart. Not just through the legs, but feel your face. Feel your face soften and release and stretch out as gravity draws and smooths all the creases and lines out around your eyes, the hinge of your jaw, the neck. And you fully let yourself be here. Come back to the breath. The ever constant, ever reliable breath. Breath in, breath out. It's always there. Anytime you can draw on it, anytime you can always pause and take a couple of deliberate breaths before going on with your day. It's much like the ocean, ever constant, going in and out of the waves. And when you think about it, the ocean, the tides, the moon has a lot to do with that, doesn't it? A real lot to do with the movement of the water. And what are we made up of? I don't know, maybe 75% or more water. So the moon, I'm sure, has a lot to do with us and our moods, our tides, our ins and our outs, our flow. You're welcome to stay as you are, or you're welcome to find your shape for Shavasana. So you could stay in that Viparita Karani or any other shape, or you could extend legs long and come into corpse pose. Arms wide by your side, palms open if you can to the ceiling, letting your feet naturally fall out. One of the most important poses of the class. Let the whole weight of your body sink down into the support of any props that you may use. You could slide something under the back of your knees or a cushion behind your head. You might even like to pull a blanket in to pull over you. Just come back to your breath. Come back to that space. There's a space, there's a gap between the in-breath and the out-breath. There's a gap, a space between the out-breath and the in-breath. Let's find it. Let's find that space. Let's find that little gap, that little moment. Let's not let them all just fly by and we don't notice them. Those little spaces, those little gaps. Each time your mind starts to wander, nudge it back to that space, that gap. Maybe you nudge it back to your breath. Maybe you have a mantra that you regularly use. Could be anything at all. Doesn't have to be a yogic word. Could be anything at all. Could be peace. Could be stillness. Anything at all. It mightn't be one word, it might be three. Let the corners of your mouth and your eyes just lift. Just softly lift. Don't think of so much as pushing them up to a smile, just that slight lift. The corners of your mouth and the corners of your eyes generally tends to bring a whole lightness. It lifts your whole being, your whole body. Your breath, your body, your mind, your spirit. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. You're welcome to stay exactly as you are, or you're welcome to follow along with me. And if so, just start to deepen your breath. Become aware of your surroundings. Try and stay that bit internal with eyes closed if you can. Just become aware of the space you're in and maybe any noises in the room or maybe external to your room. Try to keep that lightness around the corners of your mouth and your eyes. As your gentle movement just naturally start to happen. Just like you're naturally waking up without an alarm, without any little fingers prodding you, you're just naturally starting to wake up. Start to stretch fingers, toes, really reach long. And then slowly and gently roll to one side. Take your time to pause on your side. Slowly make your way up to a seated position, and when you come to sit, just like at the start, sit any way you want. It could be on a chair, it could be on a cushion, it doesn't have to be cross-legged. It's just whatever's comfortable to you. Let the hands rest, whether they're palms down or up is entirely up to you. Just try not to think it, just let it happen. Settle back into your space. If you set an intention, whether it was one for the next hour, next day, hands together in front of your heart space. The thumbs lightly touch. The strength of a warrior is not defined by the wars he wins, but the times he seeks for peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Your thumbs lightly touch your third eye, your lips, and bring them to rest on your heart center. And I say to you, Namaste, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to practice for yourself and letting me be part of it. Whether you've done it live or at a later stage, these classes are here that you can grab on our Facebook members page at any time. You can scroll back. It's great to have this platform. Stay safe, everybody. Stay home. Keep your masks on. And hopefully we'll be back in the centre together real soon. Thank you. Much love.